Hi, my name is Pam Godboyce at pamgodboyce.com, and what I want to explore with you today is if relaxing your glutes in yoga could actually be causing you pain. The truth of the matter is, most of us have one Gluteus Maximus muscle that fires more easily than the other. So what does that mean and how do we balance it out? So let's start by talking about the anatomy. When the thigh bone moves behind the pelvis, this action is called extension at the hip, and the Gluteus Maximus is responsible for that action. The glute max is also responsible for external rotation of the thigh bone and abduction of the thigh bone at the hip socket. In poses like Warrior 3, the external rotating properties of the glute max tend to take over, and the pose requires us to activate our internal rotators as well to be able to point the toes towards the ground. But what if you were to execute a squat or walk up a step? In both activities, you're performing hip extension. In yoga, the cue to relax the buttocks usually comes during back bends like locust, upward dog, bridge, and wheel. While I get that the cue is meant to decrease the risk for compression in the low back, could it instead be causing muscle confusion and decreasing strength in the back body chain? From an anatomical place, if you're not activating the muscles of hip extension when you're moving into hip extension, what's doing the work? The answer is other muscles. Muscles whose primary job is not hip extension. Muscles that are nowhere near as powerful as your glute max. The human body is an amazing machine, and it will compensate and develop patterns even when the musculoskeletal system is not firing the way that it should be. If we develop patterns where the stabilizer muscles like the piriformis or the gluteus medius are performing the actions for the glute maximus, what happens over time? The answer is usually pain. How do we change these patterns? The solution lies in retraining the muscles to fire. In this case, training the glute max to fire during hip extension. The goal is for the glute max to fire ongoing so that the muscles of support and stabilization can go back to supporting and stabilizing. Let's first explore our own patterns. You can do this by observing your body in your yoga practice, exploring the movement of the pelvis, the rotation of the thigh bone, the activation of the muscles as you move, all so you can gain a better understanding of what's going on in your body. So now that you know how to observe the patterns, let's get some practice at repatterning. Let's begin with high lunge. We'll step the right foot forward, left foot reaches back. Allow the left side of the pelvis to rotate forward. Let's bring the hands to the knee, reach the left heel back. From this position, press straight down through the front heel until you feel the underside of the right buttocks fire up. This action here is the action of hip extension as we press straight down. The next exercise for hip extension will be on your hands and knees, so find your way onto the floor. Finding our way into tabletop position, we'll draw the belly in and work to keep the hips level. From here, the right heel will come to the sky. Our tendency is to shift over to the left. We're going to take that left leg and hug it in towards the midline to create a little stability. And then from here, let the right knee lower down just a little as we then press the heel to the sky. If I was on the left side, I would do the same thing. Belly pulls up, pelvis stabilizes, I hug in on the right, left leg comes up, knee draws in towards the midline just a little, press the heel to the sky. Feel the activation in that glute. Try it out on both sides and see if one glute max is easier to activate than the other. It's a great opportunity for observing your patterns. If you find this approach to the practice fascinating and you'd like to learn more, you can find me at pamgodboyce.com. If you find these tips helpful, please be sure to like and share them. Can't wait to see you on the mat again soon.